Ahem. Me. Hi.
Fancy meeting you
Hi.
here.
Yeah, fancy meeting you here. Yes, indeed. Do you come here often?
Not as often as I should.
That's fair enough too. Hello everyone, welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world, across Australia, in a world where HasLab's Victory Saber crowdfund is now a reality, and there's a bunch of characters that are on golden discs. This is episode 247 as we close in on the big 250. We are recording live on Friday night, October the 1st, 2021. This episode we will be talking about more beasts coming to Kingdom. A lot more beasts, as it turns out. Starsaber finally has some colour in him. And there's a bunch of things that have been happening with Amazon orders being cancelled and changed around, which we'll talk about briefly during the show. All that and more is coming up after this. Hello and welcome. I am Jason. I'm your regular host. Joining me this week, we have Max coming to us from all the way over in the lockdown-free city, I think, right, of Adelaide.
For now.
Are you free?
We are for now. We're like
What's it like?
skirting
Tell
by
me.
continually.
Tell me what freedom is like, Max.
Sort of. I don't know. It's from what I understand, it's basically the same as you guys, right?
No. I'm in Sydney. We're in lockdown until October the 11th. So 10 days from now, apparently we get to leave the house, and we'll be like those people who come up from underground, after 300 years of living underground in nuclear winter, and they come up and they're like, oh goodness, what does the world look like? Anyway, New South Wales also has a new premier today, but
Do you know who that is?
I'm not sure, but I'm
I
not sure
don't think anyone knows.
I'm not sure that it matters. There's enough New South Wales premiers going around that we can put them on a shelf like a collection, and thus we come back to collecting toys. What has happened this week? Has anything notable happened this week in your life, Max?
I feel like I owe it to have done something notable.
Yeah.
Given I'm not in lockdown, but I haven't. So there we go.
Well, just as soon as you said that, I saw 2 viewers drop off, so I hope you're happy.
I'm not. Unfulfilled perpetually.
Fair enough.
How about yourself, Jason?
My week has been filled with golden discs. So a new golden disc has appeared in the news every day this week, and it's been driving people a little bit crazy because some of them can be ordered and some of them cannot. We will be talking about that coming up in the show. Not a great deal otherwise has been happening in my world, I will tell you. So how about let's cut straight to the chase, and let's start talking about some news, shall we?
Yes, please.
All right, I'm going to bring in the news live stream, the news screen share, whatever it is. First of all, we are going to talk about some new releases that have come out this week overseas. We're going to start with overseas releases. So, Kingdom's so-called Wave 4 release has started, with Waspinator and Shadow Panther both being released overseas in the last week or two. These figures have made it out at retail overseas. They haven't quite made it to Australia yet, but you would hope that they're imminent, given some of the other releases that we've had turn up recently here. They are the only 2 new deluxe class figures that we've got on the schedule for Wave 4 of Kingdom so far. Pipes and Slammer apparently have been moved to Wave 5. So, if you are looking for these guys, I would suggest that they're probably going to start popping up on... I think one of them's popped up on Amazon soon, already ready for order, and the other one should not be too far behind. We've also seen overseas the release of the very speedy release, actually, of the Universal Monsters Transformers collaborative mashup Draculus, who I have to say has gone in my mind from a figure that I kind of don't care about to a figure I'm actually really looking forward to.
It's something to do with It's something to do with presentation there.
It's the cape. It's the cape.
It's the cape. It's the box as well. It's all this artwork they've done for it. It's like they've really
polished that turd.
Yeah, basically.
Like they've really put a lot of effort into this. The collaborative repaint of Mindwipe into Draculus has started to hit retail around the world, and he should be winging his way to Australia soon. Another thing that is winging his way to Australia soon, and in fact is already here, depending on how lucky you are, is Shattered Glass Goldbug. As seen here, photo provided by a friendly TCCA member who was lucky enough to receive his Shattered Glass Goldbug in the mail already from Amazon. This is actually the first time Amazon's actually gotten these figures out early. They've been lagging quite a lot behind, and I must admit, I do have a slight pang of jealousy at the fact that there are gold bugs and Shattered Glass figures out in the world that I don't have yet. But it's okay, mine's coming. What else came out this week overseas? There is also the Gen Select Toy Galbatron, which I think we talked about last time you were on the show, actually, Max. Or
I think we did, yeah.
It's
had a reasonably quick turnaround.
Probably not actually the last time you were on. I think it was that clearer photos came out, or I think it was released in Hong Kong about a month ago. And so he's taken his time to make his way to market, but here he is. So Toy Color Galvatron is also out in Asia now and winging his way out to collectors' shelves. And that's about it for things that have come out this week overseas. In Australia, I don't actually have visual aids for these ones. As I mentioned, we do have Shattered Glass Goldbug is actually out, and we have heard sightings of Studio Series 86 Wreck-Gar and Studio Series 86 Sweep, which is the Scourge repaint. We've heard that those have been found at Kmart. Now that is kind of burying the lead somewhat, because the other things that have been found in Kmart this week, if you are lucky enough to live in one of the northern states anyway, is some of the most anticipated releases of the year, or one of the most anticipated releases of the year, and one repaint that people hope not to be stuck with, the Netflix series Sparkless Seeker. And in fact, I'll make a lot of noise on my desk. I do have one here on my desk, if you can see my 5-pixel preview on the thing there. He has been seen at Kmart, finally, at long last. We did hear from Hasbro that it was due for release in June, and then it sort of slipped to July, and then people had spotted tags on shelves that said that the Battlefield Voyagers were coming in August. Then it turned out that the Battlefield Voyagers that came in August was actually a very welcome reissue of Soundwave and Optimus Prime, which no one really saw coming. Then the Wave 1 Battlefield Voyagers came back in for some reason, and now this week suddenly Kmart's very apologetically just gone, we know this is the one that you really wanted, and here it is, very, very quietly sending it out onto the shelf. So it has sent TCCA members in Queensland into a bit of a tizzy, going out to hit up all the Kmart stores and trying to collect Sparkless Seekers for other members who are after them. And that is, I'm very happy about that. I've mentioned it before. I'm very happy that we are the kind of community where people will actually go out and find figures that other people want and bring them in. Now, just to go to one of the viewer comments, Rob Franklin said, wasn't Wingfinger also a part of this wave? So yes, actually no, sorry. So Rob's talking about the Kingdom releases. Wingfinger is actually wave 3. What's ended up happening with wave 4 is that we don't seem to be getting an actual wave assortment box. We've just got Waspinator and Shadow Panther. There is also word that if there is a wave assortment box, which some retailers might have access to, there will be reissues of Trax and the first fossilizer Ractonite or one of the others.
It was the T-Rex Velociraptor looking thing, whatever it was called.
Yeah, one of those. So there's Trax and a fossilizer in the wave assortment box. So retailers have been given the option of actually purchasing full cases of the new molds, which is great. Because it makes it really easy and really common for those figures to be found on store shelves, and makes it really easy for people to order them as well. So yes, there's a wave assortment box with figures in the previous wave, but apparently retailers don't need to take the wave assortment box. We also have yet to see the Voyager from Wave 4 rear his ugly head. Ugly head? No, he's actually kind of pretty. We will see some photos of him later on, and we'll talk about him. That's Tigertron. So, without further ado, let's get into the news of the week, shall we? Which that's the wrong slide to go to. The news of the week: Hasbro remembered that it still had a lineup of 4 Kingdom packs ready to go. I'll take that comment off the screen there. Hasbro remembered this week that the Golden Disc collection was a thing that exists, and there's a bunch of figures that have been leaked and very, very well regarded by the community as they've been leaking out, that we've been wondering where they were going to turn up. There's been enough figures that if they're not going to do Wave 4 and Wave 5 of Kingdom seems somewhat questionable if we are actually at October now, and Wave 4 has only been partially released. So the question sort of has been hanging around, where are these figures going to go? And the answer this week came out in a collection called the Golden Disc Collection, which is a set of four sets. It's a collection of 4 sets of figures that you can purchase, and they appear to be Amazon exclusive at the moment. It seems that the rule with 2021 is that exclusive products go to their exclusive retailers, but a small quantity of them also go to Hasbro Pulse. So people have been seeing these sets pop up on Pulse, but they also disappear pretty quickly from Pulse because they only have a limited number on there. Now, Max, have you got? I think when we spoke about these last, I think you do have a Kingdom Huffer. Is that right?
I did order it, but I don't know what happened to it. It was off eBay.
Oh no! Yeah.
So I should probably follow it up.
Yeah, maybe that can be your homework for the week. So Huffer was very well regarded in. I think he was in Wave 2 of Kingdom. Very fun figure to play with, and a lot of people are very happy to have him in their collections. Hasbro also seems to be very happy with Huffer because they've sent him back to the remold, retool, and repaint font a few times now. Pipes is due for release. Pipes was meant to be in Wave 4, Pipes being a retool and a repaint of Huffer, and we're not quite sure when that figure is going to be released. My money is next month. However, the further repaints of those two into Road Ranger, as you see on the left, and Puffer, which you see on the right, is a thing that is now happening in the Golden Disc collection. Now, the Golden Disc collection obviously makes reference to the Golden Disc from Beast Wars and from the Netflix War for Cybertron Kingdom show, which was a fairly major MacGuffin for the show and a bit of a plot point. Hasbro has decided to bestow extra powers on the Golden Disc in the toy line. It now has the power to create alternate universes. So
sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, why not? You know, why not? So in the same year that Hasbro's embraced alternate universes by giving us a mainline Shattered Glass franchise, they've also decided that multiverses are now a thing, and so they're giving us. They're using this as a plot device to give us variants of different characters, which, you know, I am happy to give Hasbro points for trying. It's in years gone by, they would just shove these things out there with a label on them that says, "This is Puffer, this is Road Ranger, enjoy, go for it."
But now it out ourselves.
Yeah. We'll figure out a story ourselves. Maybe this is a sign of what happens when people are working from home. They've got a little bit too much time and start coming up with parallel universes and things like that. So the Golden Discs, because it reveals possible destinies for characters, it also allows us to see into parallel universes and alternate dimensions. In this particular universe, it's picked up a GoBot, which is Road Ranger, the character on the left. Now, this is actually one of the first times that Hasbro's actually referred to GoBots officially in their press releases as well. The GoBot Road Ranger is referenced in the description for this set, just as GoBot Road Ranger. It doesn't say what he is, whether he's an Autobot or a Decepticon. He certainly appears to be an Autobot based on this photo. And then poor Pipes and Huffer. Like Pipes hasn't even been released yet, but apparently the transition over to the alternate universe has smooshed Pipes and Huffer together to make Puffer.
That is
Road Ranger comes through intact. Yeah, it kind of is body horror. Like
disgusting.
It is body horror, but at least it's not as bad as the Marvel Megatron and Ratchet body horror, right? Yeah, and I say this.
Artistic value to it. This is just weird.
Well, so like as far as artistic value goes, I mean, hang on, I'm just gonna bring this up because like I can't not. I mean, as far as body horror goes, Marvel has you beat. Like they merged Megatron and Ratchet together in for several well, I say several issues, like quite a while in the Generation 1 comic. So, and they also had the balls to call this the ultimate Autobot Decepticon team up on the cover of the comic, as you can see.
I missed that.
So as far as as far as body horror goes, like Pipes and Huffer being smushed together into Puffer is pretty light, I think. So Puffer is a reference to one of the sort of alternate forms of one of the various G1 mini-bots that was only released in I think it was either Mexico or Spain, one of the small markets around the world where they would manufacture their own versions of the mini-bots. So we've been wondering what would happen with this name for a really long time, because we saw Puffer in leaks a while ago, and so here we go. He's kind of an amalgam of Pipes and Huffer, but he's more there. One of our YouTube commenters says he's the Mexican repaint of Pipes. So there we go. And another commenter says Brazil. It's it's somewhere down.
It's a muddy
somewhere down
area.
He's the South American version of Pipes. Let's just go.
It was a different time.
Yeah. So anyway, the Golden Disc has powers, and it has brought us a 2-pack repaint of one of the best regarded figures of this year. So I'm totally in for this. I had a lot of fun with Huffer, and I'm totally there for the Road Ranger and the Puffer repaint. I'm also in for Pipes when he comes out as well. He's kind of this year's Seeker. Just throw another coat of paint on it and release it again. Now you haven't actually handled Huffer. So all of the talk about how cool that mold is and how much fun it is, it's kind of lost on you, isn't it?
Maybe I should try to do something about that.
You should. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the ship may have sailed in terms of getting a hold of a Huffer now. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is a discussion for another time, but Kingdom and Earthrise specifically, or actually all of Warp Cybertron really, seem to have risen in aftermarket value quite significantly, to a greater extent than even Combiner Wars.
It's true, but also I think the figures are better regarded than Combiner Wars. It's okay. It's safe. You're safe. You can get him for about about $38 shipped off Amazon. There we go. This is what happens. This is why I have an extra window that's open live so that I can check things on the podcast. So yeah. Anyway, look, if you want to get a hold of a huffer, you can, and you cannot, if you're in Australia like us, you cannot get a hold of pipes and huffer. Oh, someone, there you go. Someone's actually said there's a handful of huffers at the local Big W if you need it. So there you go. You can find that. You can find that person in the Facebook group later on, and you can hit them up for a huffer.
Speak to Facebook user.
I think I might actually make that an official segment on the show. We'll call it "Hit Me Up for a Huffer." I don't know what that would be, but yes, it sounds vaguely illegal actually. Anyway, so as far as this goes, we've been told that these golden disc figures should become available in Australia from Amazon. However, the Amazon listings for these guys, which, if you recall, they leaked out earlier in the year. They were the first revelation of these sets. They're gone. If you were lucky enough to actually order these guys earlier in the year, your order has turned into these guys with the official product imagery. But yeah, you can't go to Amazon Australia and order them anymore. You can, however, order them from Amazon US, and they will ship it to Australia. That's not the case with all of these sets, and we will talk about that in a minute. Anyway, that was Tuesday morning. That it seems like such a long time ago. Puffer and Road Ranger were revealed on Tuesday morning. Then on Wednesday morning, a slight panic ensued when Jackpot was revealed. Jackpot comes with a Battlemaster. So Jackpot is a repaint of the Studio Series 86 Jazz mold with a new head design as well. And it comes with a Battlemaster and a blast effect as well. Just justifying a little bit of a price increase. So he is about $10 more than a standard deluxe, which is kind of what you expect for the price of a Battlemaster. And Jackpot is very unique. So a lot of us are very used to going to Amazon US and ordering these figures for release in Australia. However, Jackpot seems to have a new condition on Amazon where they will not ship. So first of all, this happens quite a bit. Amazon won't ship this figure to Australia. That's fine. We have freight forwarders. So we log into Amazon US, we change our shipping address to the freight forwarder. Oh, it still won't ship to the freight forwarder. And when you look up the new error message that's now displayed, it actually says, yes, if an item is restricted from export, we will not ship it to a freight forwarder. That's a first. I've not seen Amazon do that before. Fortunately, it seems Amazon does not quite know about all of the freight forwarders that exist, because I did find one that works. I believe Jackpot is still available for order, and this does actually lead to some confusion. So Rob's commented on the stream saying he sold out on Amazon US very quickly. I'm pretty sure he's not sold out. I'm just gonna open up my orders page on Amazon US, and I'm gonna jump over to the listing for Jackpot, and yeah, I can definitely confirm. Like, I'm gonna bring this tab over here. I can definitely confirm he is still available for order if you have your location set to the correct freight forwarder in the USA. So this is a bit weird. We've never actually had Transformers that Amazon didn't like shipping to the point that they would protect them from being shipped to a freight forwarder. We've often had Transformers that Amazon doesn't want to ship direct to Australia. It is kind of weird that this condition is applied to set number 2 of 4, but there's it's not the only set in the series that has it. And well, let's take a bit of a look at bit of a look at how Jackpot's Jazz repaint works. they're quite striking colors. They're also the colors that I'm familiar with Ricochet for using as well. But I believe there is some distinction between Jackpot and Ricochet in terms of repaints that I'm not actually familiar with. But is a black and yellow not Porsche something that you might be looking to add into your collection next?
Like, I don't know what's going on here. Just in terms of the aesthetics of it, it just isn't working for me in anywhere near as well the same way that Jazz did. Like, this mold for me strikes a very good Jazz, and ordinarily Jackpot out of Jazz figures looks just about as good, but this is something about it that I cannot put my finger on, and I don't know what it is. It's just
I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a go.
Proportions just don't work with these colours. I don't know what's going on there.
I'm going to have a go. It's the yellow legs. In fact, I kind of feel like it's the yellow colour. It's the yellow plastic and the yellow plastic, where the yellow legs are and the tops of the arms. It just, I don't know. I also feel
dry and chalky.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like everything's a little bit exposed because the car doors are not so prominent on this Jazz mold as well. So it just sort of feels like something's missing from him in robot mode.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. It looks like a dude wearing minimal clothing. He kind of just looks like a guy.
A dude wearing minimal clothing. That might be the
That's
if we did titles for the show, we might use that.
It's a dude wearing minimal clothing. It's hard to put my finger on what exactly is going on here.
No, I get what you mean, and like I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm probably going to buy it. But
I respect that.
I do think that the car mode looks better than the robot mode. Like the car mode holds together quite nicely as a black Porsche. I'm actually more fond of the Battle Master.
I don't think it might be the ratio of black to yellow. Like, but comparing the car mode to the robot mode, I think it's just...
Rob has a theory, which is that it's the Simpsons yellow. Maybe that's it.
Shade. Yeah.
It is a very specific shade of yellow, isn't it? I still don't mind the car mode. I think that
looks really
fine.
Classy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So this is the thing, right? The Jazz mold is actually a little bit divisive because people are really happy that there's a Jazz, but then they get the Studio Series 86 Jazz and they pick it up and they're sort of like, oh, is that it? Oh, okay. And I feel like without the wow factor of it being a Jazz toy, this kind of lacks the positive, and everyone sort of looks like, yeah, okay, yeah, there it is. Like I said, I'm kind of resigned to the fact that I'm probably going to have this in my collection anyway, so I may as well enjoy it, right? So like, cool. The head sculpt is really good. Like it is a very detailed new head sculpt that they've done for the figure, so that's cool as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely give it that much.
Yeah. Let's move on to Chapter 3 of the Golden Disc collection. So we've had two G1 inspired characters. It's kind of time to give the beasts a go, right? Because this is Kingdom, and it is a nice split between G1 and beasts, isn't it? So Chapter 3 is Tigertron, but he's not the Tigertron that we're expecting to see come to market. He is an orange version with a mutant head. He's a mutated Tigertron, where in this reality, I believe they call it the Quantum Surge that's brought about by the Golden Disc. The Quantum Surge mutated Tigertron, and so he's got a different color and a different head design. I actually think this looks really quite nice. There's a lot of detail in the paint on this mold. I do think he's quite nice. We haven't actually seen the Voyager Tigertron come to market yet, so it's a little bit of a
Has Tigertron not come out?
Spin. No, Tigertron is not out yet.
Jesus. What?
Cheetor is
just
out.
assumed it would have been out. Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah. So this is actually one of our first more detailed looks at Tigertron, but in alternate colours. But yeah, I'm just really quite impressed at the amount of work that's gone into the tiger head. The mutant head as well has quite a lot of detail on it, and yeah, the paint job, and I think the colours work. The colours are pretty bright. Like there's a lot of orange on this toy, but I think the colours work better on this than they do on Jackpot.
Yeah, I think for me the thing of the colours here that's really standing out is it's a colour it's a colour scheme we haven't really seen before. Like I know it's nothing particularly unique, but it's just little things like I don't know if we've seen this shade of blue and this shade of orange together before.
Yeah.
It's kind of just
that's true.
The little tiny differences like that make it stand out.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know if we've seen this sort of deco for a beast mode before.
I'm pretty sure that this would have been done before, and because most of these sets are references to things that have come before. But still, so we'll take a look at him in beast mode there as well, which does. I mean, look, like most of the Kingdom beast modes, and in fact the Masterpiece beast as well. There's sort of kind of a jigsaw of parts that hold together, but still quite impressive, the detail that's on him, the stripes, and the articulation on the limbs as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Tigertron. So if you've looked at this and you're sold and you want to get yourself a Tigertron, you can order Tigertron from Amazon US. So set number 1. Road Ranger and Puffer, you can order from Amazon US. Jackpot, you can't, unless you have the right freight forwarder. Tigertron, you can. They're happy to ship it to Australia. So who knows why Jackpot won't be exported to Australia? We don't know. Someone is, I believe, making inquiries with Amazon as to why the listing is set up this way. So it might change. We'll see how we go. So that's chapter 3 in the Golden Disc saga, and this morning as I woke up, I was greeted with chapter 4 in the Golden Disc saga, who is Pterosaur. Pterosaur is a red and I'm gonna say white, but it's more kind of a lightish red repaint of Airazor with some heavy remolding to turn into a pterodactyl design instead of a bird. Really impressive. I really like the amount of detail in the chest design with all the sort of the scaly finish. Very impressive job changing the wings around. Basically, the wings are a completely different mold, but still the same configuration as Airazor. And where is he on my desk here? So I don't actually.
Little, like, it's still the same mold, but it's on it. There are remolds and there are remolds, and this one is really doing a great job of just changing the overall aesthetic.
It's true, yes. So I've got the Skywarp repaint of Airazor here, which, by comparison, the Skywarp. So the Skywarp change is. Hang on, I'm actually going to put myself up in solo layout for a minute. So the Skywarp deco of Airazor, in comparison to Pterosaur, is actually a very slight change. But the colours are great. The head sculpt is new, and it's a really fun mold, and I expect that to come along into Pterosaur as well. The face sculpt on Pterosaur is also just something that gets me. It's quite impressive. It's just really nicely done. Hasbro's really got a thing for face sculpts. Yeah, there's a lot of personality in there, isn't there? There's just that slight smile and a grin as well. And Pterosaur does have different weapons again. So Skywarp, in a nod to the G1 figure, has the sort of the wrist mounted the forearm mounted cannons. Pterosaur actually looks like there's actually some fins in those 5mm ports, so Pterosaur gets a gun instead. So yeah, very, very, very happy. And look, there's Pterosaur holding the golden disc. I'm not sure how Pterosaur is holding the golden disc. It looks kind of magic, but that's holding it is.
The other thing is, I just opened it back up. I don't think they come with an actual golden disc accessory.
Oh, I don't think this one does either. I think Pterosaur actually is just holding the golden disc that comes with the arc.
It says in the description, includes figure, golden disc, accessory, and instructions. So,
okay.
For whatever reason, they've packaged it with Pterosaur.
So whatever you're lacking in accessories, you get a golden disc. So there you go. So yeah. Pterosaur comes with a gun, by the looks of it, and a gun and the disc. So yeah,
it is like it does strike me as kind of strange that they've chosen to make Pterosaur part of this exclusive line here. Like, I don't know. I would have thought this would be a character they released as part of a main line, but
it is interesting. There's been a lot of interest in this figure ever since the name was leaked. Like people have been looking for more information on Pterosaur for a while. There was a point I think yesterday. So people can see patterns in things, right? So they said early in the week that the Golden Disc collection is a collection of 4 sets. So they revealed 3, and then the rumor was very heavily that Pterosaur is going to be the 4th. And people saying, it's very heavily remolded. It might be taller. It might transform differently. Doesn't look like it's majorly changed in that regard, but it is significantly retooled into a different looking beast mode. But that was enough to just create a lot of buzz, and people are just like, I want Pterosaur. I don't care what it looks like. Just I need to get Pterosaur. So yeah, there's definitely been a lot of interest. Pterosaur, unfortunately, like Jackpot, cannot be ordered from Amazon US. It's protected from export. Again, we don't know why, but if you've got the right freight forwarder, you can still do it. And so that's been the big news for figure reveals for the week. We thought that was it for reveals for the week, and then Takara just sort of jumped out today and tweeted this image. So it was
and then deleted this image, if I recall.
Yeah. So it was a drive-by shooting on Twitter, right? Let's be clear. Takara tweeted this image and then deleted it. So they announced a new series called MPG, which if I close the image, the Twitter translation of the original tweet said, introducing a new series in Transformers. Its name is MPG. More information will be lifted, soon. Looking forward to it. And looking at what we've got here, so we've got MP. We all know what MP stands for in Transformers, and then we've got MPG. So what's the G going to be? So we've under this in Japanese. In Japanese, so we have Gatai, Giant, and Giant, but the Japanese words under Giant and Giant are different. And from people looking at this and translating some of the text, the second Giant is used as a category, and the Gatai is a combiner. So it does appear that Takara is going to create a new line for Masterpiece combiners.
Oh dear.
And the thinking is that the MPG actually stands for Masterpiece Gestalt, which is one of the sort of technical terms of referencing a combiner in the Japanese version of Transformers. So MPG would possibly seem to be the line that the Raiden project is going to be appearing in. And I do actually need to then pull up another image which leaked onto TFW 2005, which I will just do this now because I think I forgot to put it in earlier, which appears to show one of the I keep saying Raiden. I know it's Raiden. One of the train combiners, which we did see. We did see this guy leaked a few weeks ago. These are definitely not the photos that we saw from that leak. These are quite different. So what we appear to be seeing here is one of the first train bots with that MPG logo set into the image. Now, whether or not this is actually an official image or a fan made image, we will probably find out in the next few days. It does seem that this looks like it could be some of the text at the top, so we can see a reference to MPG in there. There's also a 1, which could just mean that this is the first release in the MPG line, which does also then beg the question: are they going to be releasing these characters one at a time? And so if that's the case, your first Masterpiece combiner will not combine for a long time.
Well, we've known about this Raiden project for a good couple of years now as well. So
we have, but I think it's fair to say
very long wait.
I think it's fair to say it's reaching fever pitch now that sort of they're getting ready to reveal the brand and everything for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very finished looking figure.
It's true. It's true. It is. I do think it's worth remembering that these are probably. There's been a lot of question over the scale of Raiden as to sort of versus a Masterpiece figure, and I believe the explanation that Takara gave earlier in the year is that the scale of these figures is probably more likely to be like a Combiner Wars combiner, which means they probably are not going to scale with your regular release Masterpiece line. So thus pulling them out of the regular Masterpiece line and making them a separate line, MPG, makes a lot of sense. I also wonder if there might be a bit of slack from sort of the lack of MPM movie releases going around in Japan, so that team is not necessarily busy. So anyway, it looks to me like MPG could well be the home of Raiden and potentially any other Masterpiece combiners that Takara might want to do down the line. And I actually think if the bots are not as complicated as regular Masterpieces, which I think is a good chance of that, I think maybe they might see a more regular release schedule as well. I mean, dare I say, maybe they'll release one bot a month. At least then your combine. At least then your combine is done in 6 months, right? Mm.
Yeah, it's because at the end of the day, even with it being official and cheaper than a third-party Masterpiece, it's still a modern Masterpiece. So
yeah,
if you want to build a full combiner, that's a lot of money. So if they're gonna scale back the engineering a bit and make it more affordable, I'm not about to complain.
Potentially. Look. I think given that Takara tweeted this and they deleted it within about 10 minutes of it going out this morning. Fortunately, the internet remembers and caches everything very heavily, which is why we were able to obtain the text of the tweet, translate it, and still get the image in the tweet even a couple of hours later. So, I think very clearly we do have a new MP designated product coming at us. It might still be a while away, bearing in mind that Takara also has the premium finish collection that's going to start coming out this month. I think that goes for 6 months, either 5 or 6 months. So maybe this will sort of take up that release slot after that time.
Yeah, sort of all speculation at this stage, I guess. But
if there's one thing we like to do, it's speculate.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. I get mired in it way too easily.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this admittedly quite blurry image of this figure, and I'm feeling positive.
Yeah. I'm feeling positive too. I wish I'd thrown this through Google Translate before putting it up, but I didn't. I do think that we're looking at some promotion at the top that says, this is the first MPG image. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And there is also a very prominent 6 in the text below. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what that says. I'm sure we'll have more information on this in the next episode. We'll see how we go.
We have to imagine that a full reveal is coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if this morning if Takara just accidentally they got the wrong date. Maybe it was the wrong week. It was meant to go out next Friday. Who knows? We'll see. Some other big news that happened this week as well. Like it hasn't been a huge week in as in too many things happening, but it's been a big number of announcements. HasLab's Victory Saber has had a big week. It's now officially fully funded. Well, I say fully funded. It's reached 11,000 backers, which means it is going into production. If you put your name down for a Victory Saber, you are going to get a Victory Saber. The question now is, what are you going to get with it? I think the first stretch goal is the gun, as you see on this on the figure here, which is at 14,000. You get the V-Lock cannon. The next goal, I think, is 19,000. You get a very nice looking blue, slightly transparent stand. And the third stretch goal is yet to be announced, but is thought to be a shield. Now, this image is also very significant in one other aspect, because it's the first time that we've actually seen. It's actually the first time that we've seen this figure properly in color. It was revealed as a grey. It was revealed as a grey render. They didn't color the render for some reason, and there were color renders released a week or two ago, and this looks like it's actually the real deal, the real figure. And so we can see him in color for the first time and see how those colors reflect under the light, and how various parts of the figure should be colored. It is, of course, still an early proposal for that. There's a footnote at the bottom of the image that says prototype model shown, final product may vary. We are very familiar with that from Unicron. So Max, are you into Victory Saber?
I kind of wish I had an attachment to Star Saber in any form, because I quite like.
You can develop one now.
Well, there's no character here for me to.
There's no character that you're familiar with
in the next week. I don't know. It's just at the end. I have no attachment to Star Saber, and it's kind of a shame, because this is a very good looking figure.
I'm gonna suggest
I'm quite happy that
maybe for the next week your homework might be to watch Victory and then see whether or not you want to jump on this before the crowdfunding campaign runs out. Because if you don't, and it comes out and then you decide you want it, you know what happened to Unicron.
Yeah, I've been feeling that regret with Unicron so much, but the HasLab Sentinel recently shot way up in price. A $300 figure going for over $1,000 now, and I'm a little bit worried that I might want this Star Saber down the track, and then when it comes to the point when I do, all of a sudden it's 3 times the price.
Look, I would say it's not as big an investment as either of them, and I would suggest you just go and throw down a deposit, and if you change your mind over the next year, you can always get your deposit back from EB.
Yeah, it's something I'm considering. Got a week left.
It's got a week left. I think it's interesting to see where the numbers go from here. We did see with Unicron that once it actually reached its crowdfunding goal, even though it took 2 attempts to get there, once it reached its crowdfunding goal, a lot of people decided to jump on, because they're like, well, I know it's actually going to get funded now, so I will buy in. And so the other notable thing that's happened this week with the Victory Saber project is it's actually been revealed. It's been put on sale up for pre-orders in Japan. All of this time, people in Japan who might well be almost the core audience for a Victory Saber toy, they haven't been able to get on the crowdfund and back this. This week it went up at Takara Tomy Mall. There's basically this week and the following week. to get to the end of the crowdfunding period. So Japan is now going hammer and tongs at those pre-orders, which might also explain why we suddenly got to the point where it's at 11,000 units. So anyway, that's the update on Victory Saber. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I bought.
Take it you backed him.
Oh, I definitely have. I got the Masterpiece Star Saber. I very famously ordered him on the podcast live a few years ago. So, yeah, it's there's definitely precedent for a Star Saber existing in my collection, and I'm very happy to get this. I also don't actually have that much of a connection to the character. I haven't watched Victory, but it's a cool character. It's a cool bot. So I'm happy to back it.
I will say that is the other spanner in the works for me personally, is the fact that a Masterpiece already exists. So if I wind up wanting a nice Star Saber, there is the nicest Star Saber already there. That being said, this guy does have a lot of extra accoutrements with him.
He does. He very much benefits from being a Star Saber that was announced years after the Masterpiece. The Masterpiece Star Saber, on the balance, I think a lot of people feel like that missed the mark. It was a bit disappointing.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
And so we're going to move on to. There's a couple more news stories. First of all, we're going to circle back around to some Kingdom news. You were surprised earlier that we haven't really seen Tigertron yet, Max, and here he is. This is one of our first looks at what the figure looks like officially with the press photos and a picture of its packaging.
Yeah.
And surprise, he looks like the orange one that we saw earlier, done in white with actually just as much detail in the tiger deco on him, I have to say, and with a more traditional head, the more similar head that you would expect given his appearance in the Netflix series. And so we've seen a mention today from Kapow Toys, which is a retailer in the UK, that said that they think that this guy is going to be exclusive to Amazon. Now, I don't know if they're just talking about the UK or not, but we have seen two figures. We've seen two deluxes from Wave 4 come to market, and there's no word of when Tigertron is coming out to market officially for retailers. So maybe there's something to that. Maybe Tigertron is just gonna end up sold on Amazon. We don't really know yet. But I think there's a lot of people who are waiting for this figure. Tigertron's a very popular character, and so yeah, there's a lot of people really wanting to add this guy to their collection. And that is that. There's one last news story that we're going to take a look at, which is that this is apparently a 4x4 off-road Bumblebee Camaro that's going to be used in the upcoming Rise of the Beasts film. So like it's not
very Michael Bay looking vehicle.
It kind of is, isn't it? Yeah.
Gets me a little bit anxious. Not too anxious, but a little bit.
You know what? I don't hate it.
Oh, it looks cool. There's no question.
It does.
There's an implication there.
Kinda, but yeah. So look, Bumblebee has already taken two forms in the cinematic reboot universe. He had the Volkswagen, and he did transform into a Camaro at the end of the Bumblebee movie. So if Bumblebee decides that he likes Camaros, then he can stay with the brand and take on a four-wheel drive off-road look for Rise of the Beast, as it seems. No idea where this is going to fit in plot-wise, and I'm not really going to go hunting for those spoilers. I kind of don't really need them.
No, and I criticised it before, but I'm sort of withholding judgment a lot of this Rise of the Beast stuff because just about everything I've heard about this movie so far does not make me feel very positive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then everything that I heard about the Bumblebee movie prior to its release also did not make me feel positive. And then, we started seeing trailers for that movie and it looked incredible. And then it came out and it was fantastic. So I'm kind of like, I'll just withhold judgment for the time being. And
yeah,
see how things pan out.
that seems fair. That seems fair. I mean, look, Transformers fans have never been known to withhold judgment of anything until it gets released. So, like, you should be complimented on taking that position for the very first time. I mean, we've basically just been looking through all the figures reveals for the week and judging them. But yes, like let's try this as a novel approach for once. We might withhold judgment on something. I'm sure it'll be fine. Sorta.
It'll be a movie.
Yeah. Of all the things it will definitely be a movie.
Yep. Be a movie. It will have Transformers in it.
Well, we hope. I mean, there is precedent, but yeah, we don't know. Anyway, that is about it for news. I'm gonna return us back to the 2UP view. We're running close to time, so let's start talking about some acquisitions for the week. Do you want to bring up your acquisition? I'll give you the stage.
I'll kick us off. So I've got a bit of a weird one. So this is I forget it's
Dragoon, I think you said.
It's the KO of Unique Toys Dragoon, which is their sort of third-party version of the Last Night Megatron. Now this is the KO from, I forget what company they're under now, but this is what was Black Mamba and what was Kubian Bao. So it's those same people again.
I mean, the entire market of this stuff is so complicated now.
Yeah, it's very, like, my entire knowledge of these things comes from Shozy store comment sections. Right? It's it's the only way you can keep track of it. I think I might have very little idea what's going on. Oh, my God. Yeah. I recommend it. So this is a figure which I would have picked up the official version of, if not for the fact that this specific version of a KO has a very beautiful battle damage sculpt paint job. It's kind of hard to see through.
It is a little bit at the moment,
webcam, because it's largely it's not really like a scratched up paint job. It's more of a sort of a black wash, which doesn't really translate well onto camera. You can see a bit of it there on the shield a bit more clearly. It's nice sort of paint fading there. And it's only really one kind of paint job. There's no scratches or anything, no rust. It's all this black wash, sort of dirt and grime, but it's really well applied. So what it does is it just brings out the detail really beautifully.
Yeah, very nice.
Of what is a very nice mold. Like for me personally, I adore this design. It is by far for me the best design that we wound up getting out of the Michael Bay films.
Look, the Megatron design from the Last Night is very well regarded, and it's one of the few things where people are just like, yeah, no, that was a really good part of the movie, instead of just universally deriding it.
Yeah, it's also a design that lends itself really well to an action figure. Transformation notwithstanding, you have this really nicely proportioned and detailed Megatron. The figure itself comes with each of the accessories that you need from the movie. So he has like an alternate faceplate, cannon, shield, sword, all really beautifully detailed, and the overall proportions of this figure lends itself to being a very natural, just a very natural flowing action figure, right? It's like you pose this and it feels as natural as if you're posing a figure arts or a Figma piece.
It's kind of hard to describe. It's quite large there.
Yeah, so this is about 10 inches tall. So this knockoff version is smaller than the actual official Unique Toys version. but it's larger than any of my official Unique Toys figures, like including the Optimus and any of that.
Yeah.
The big thing here that might be an issue for people is, like, for me, it certainly was an issue. First getting it out of the package was the transformation. The instructions, they're awful. They're just awful.
I'm gonna have a shot at this when it comes to my turn as well. So yeah.
Yeah, they're awful, and video instructions. I watched a few. None of them really able to communicate properly how to transform this thing. You sort of just have to play it by ear and work with what you got, because once you transform the
okay. No, I was going to say.
Or maybe I cut out.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually did. You said once you, and it seemed like you were thinking about things for a while, and then it just crossed that threshold where it was obvious you dropped out instead of were thinking.
That crossed that threshold of Adelaide Internet.
Yeah.
So
I think we're good now.
What it is it's you transform it once, and it feels kind of unintuitive, very complicated, but you start doing it more, and it's just a very well designed piece. There's no one sort of thing which I can point to and say, this is what makes it a well designed Transformer. But once you've done this process a couple times back and forth, it just flows beautifully. Yeah. It's that classic Unique Toys thing of everything's compartmentalized. So like the lower legs are incredibly complicated, but you do that complicated section in one chunk. You transform them and it's done. And then you transform the torso and it's done. You transform the arms and it's done. And it's, you're not spinning pieces around, trying to move everything in complicated directions. It's very clearly defined where everything is going to go. And what it is it's not a bunch of complicated motions with no clear purpose. Or it's not, a bunch of complicated motions with one or two standout moments. Like, when you have most Masterpiece figures, and you have a standout moment, like when MP Bumblebee, the first version, the chest sucks up, or the arms coming together on MP Megatron, right? It's that sort of thing.
Inferno's ladder.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Whereas this figure is like, I can't point you to one specific moment, because it is a dozen of those moments all linked together really beautifully. I
feel like you're selling this product to me on the basis that I'm going to have a religious experience when I transform it.
Maybe I'm overselling it, but it is quite good. The only caveat I would say is that the KO version, which I bought because of the paint job, it is not as good as an official Unique Toys figure. The plastic, the quality just isn't there. It's not poor quality plastic. It's not a poor build quality, but it's certainly not up to the official par.
Just not the usual standard.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And then it's also not the most posable figure in the world, but it is the most posable of any of Unique Toys figures so far from this movie line. So I would say if you like this design, this is well worth picking up. I'm very happy with it. It's not perfect, but it's bloody good.
That's a pretty glowing endorsement right there.
It's a pretty good figure.
So where did you get him from? Was it Shosey store?
Shosey, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Well, so I have a Megatron as well to show off this week. A little bit of a different Megatron, but also if you're familiar with the things that I like in my collection, completely consistent with what you might come to expect, and that is this guy.
Hello, gorgeous.
He is the there he is. He is the Transformers Cloud. So this was Cloud Megatron. So this was the E-Hobby set from, I think, around 2013, 2014. This mold has been used to create a G2 Megatron and also a Bludgeon. So it's no stranger to Megatron, and it also then makes sense as to why it's got swords instead of having Megatron's signature arm cannon. The interesting thing with this, as you can sort of see as I'm holding it up and it's shaking, the swords are rubber. They do sort of shake around a little bit, but that's fine. So the sword actually goes into the tank, the tank top, but I wanted to leave it in his hand, and then he has the smaller. That's not a knife. This is a knife version as well. Very, very nice. It is my third Transformers Cloud figure. I also have Cloud Rodimus, which is something that I like to break out on occasion because I really like that figure, and I do have Cloud Optimus as well. And the Cloud Optimus is a repaint of one of the classics Optimus molds in some slightly different colors, slightly cooler colors. So along with the third Cloud figure that I've ever owned, came the fourth Cloud figure that I've ever owned, and probably the last one I'm really looking to get, and it's this guy, which is Brawn. He's very clearly, if you're familiar with the line, he's very clearly a repaint of Transformers Prime Bulkhead. But goodness me, the colors on this guy, the colors just really work on him with the sort of the signature green and orange that you get with Brawn, and he has a new face sculpt as well.
That is
really
just beautiful.
Really nice. Oh yeah, he's just really nice. Like the light, sort of reflects off him at just the right angles. There's just the right amount of paint on things. Just a really, really nice figure. And I did mention that I was going to have a whinge about instructions. So I would like to point out that Brawn comes packaged in vehicle mode, and he comes with instructions that tell you how to turn him into the vehicle mode from robot mode.
Classic.
Yeah, I know, right? It's classic.
It's worse if it's the other way around, because at least vehicle mode, it sort of flows a bit more naturally to get out of it, because you're sort of breaking things apart.
This is true.
But even so,
now it's been a couple of weeks since we did an episode, and so I get confused between what I've shown off on the TCCA Wednesday night video chats, on games nights. We have a lot of activities that go on in the group. However, I am fairly certain that I have not shown this guy off on the podcast yet, so I'm going to do it now. This is one of my other recent acquisitions, which I'm very, very happy about, which is the Transformers animated Wingblade Optimus Prime figure. He is
it's a lovely piece.
Ultimately,
that's for Japanese one, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
He is ultimately just some bits of armor around the regular Transformers animated Voyager. But holy shit, it all hangs together just so nicely. I mean, it's a testament to the strength of the animated line. Anyway, I think it's also probably safe to say he's not just a Japanese design. Like, this guy was going to be released in the West, but the line finished up, and so it was just sort of funny that Takara ended up releasing it, and it became so popular based on that release. He is the Voyager Prime, and he is actually slightly transparent, and that isn't enough for some people to actually regard it with some suspicion and think that it's going to break. It is extremely solid. He's a transparent figure that does not appear to have any breakage issues. All of the extra pieces are just armor that clip onto him. So if I hold that up again, there you can sort of just see the wings just sort of like sit around on his back, and you can also see actually from that angle, and even because I just pulled it off, like you can see Prime's regular hand. Prime's regular hand is there, and then the sort of the bigger muscly hand that sort of indicates he's powered up. It actually just sits over the existing arm, and
just
has
plug into his peg.
Yeah, it just has a peg that plugs into his hand and sits over his arm, and yeah, so that's how they attach. They're essentially gloves. They're just cool power gloves, and the guns here do actually shoot as well.
Of
So
course.
be careful. Be careful about that. Don't have anyone's eye out. Besides that, regular Voyager Optimus Prime. Very, very happy to have him in my collection. I did have an opportunity to buy him a couple of years ago when I was passing through Singapore, but instead I purchased the Elite Guard version of Optimus Prime. So I came away from that shop with a Transformers animated Prime regardless. Yeah, now I'm happy to have gone back and collected the other one as well. That is about it for acquisitions and for news, things that have happened this week. I don't think we've missed anything out. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think we've pretty well covered all the bases.
I think we pretty much have covered all of the bases that need to be covered. A little bit of club news. We are very happy to announce that I'm not sure if we've actually made 200 members. I think we are at just over 200 members. So we're going to do a little bit of a giveaway. We do occasionally like to reward people for signing up to the club. So we are going to do a giveaway. It's going to be sometime in the next few days. Anyone who is a paid up member of TCCA will be eligible for the draw, and you will see your name on screen, and one lucky member will actually come away with a prize. We also we started off our fundraising activities in the last couple of weeks. We have given away a buzzworthy Bumblebee Worlds Collide set. Try saying that 10 times fast. Very successful. We sold 80 tickets for the fundraiser. We've been able to donate about $40 to the Royal Children's Hospital. We've put some money into the club's coffers to pay for our attendance at Supernova and things like that. Very, very happy. And we've also managed to give away a very sought after set to one lucky person as well. That's the brief roundup of club activities. And so with all of that done, it is time to bid farewell. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you've been watching along with the live record, thank you very much for checking us out. You can find out more about these stories. You can find links to all the stories and more in the show notes. You can get in touch with us. We love hearing feedback. You can find the podcast's website at transformersweekly.podbean.com. You can find us on Facebook at Australian Transformers Weekly, and you can find Max and myself in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. And if you're not already subscribed and you're just listening to this in like a Google search result or something like that, you will find the information necessary to subscribe on the website, or you can just search for Australian Transformers Weekly in your podcatcher of choice and distinction. They're all out there, and we're all indexed in them. The podcast is a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. It's a registered club run in Victoria, run by volunteers donating their time, effort, energy, money, and Friday nights like this to make Transformers collecting in Australia better and more fun for everyone. We do love the community that we've built. Our goal is to connect Transformers fans around the country, and to do that, we like to engage the community. And you can find out more about the benefits of TCCA membership and how to show your support for what we do at transformerscca.com. And with that, that's all from us. We will be back with more Transformers news soon, hopefully next week, but we'll see. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get things going on a weekly basis when there's lockdowns and all sorts of things getting in the way. But
we have to imagine that the big dump of end of year news will be coming sooner rather than later.
I feel like we kind of had that this week, but there's gonna be more.
There's a new line next year. We have to imagine it'll get revealed soon, right?
Well, you'd hope so. But look, I think that's gonna come for PulseCon. So I think sometime later this month. We are now in October. PulseCon is in about 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully that will be where we start to see the new Transformers line revealed. I'm not actually sure that it's going to make it out sort of for the end of the year and start of next year, because the Kingdom Golden Disc figures are still coming in March, and I think there's still some Kingdom figures that need to get released. So I don't know.
Plenty of it hasn't hit shelves at all, like Tigertron, which we've known about for forever.
Yeah, Tigertron, Pipes, Slammer. There might be another wave of Kingdom, or maybe all the remaining figures have gone into the Golden Disc collections. So we'll see. Anyway, that is about it. Thank you for listening, everyone, and thank you for watching, and especially people who've been watching along on the live stream and making comments. We do appreciate everyone taking the time to watch. Thank you very much. That is all from us, and we'll be back with more Transformers news in the fullness of time.